this year, I thought, let me start in a fresh way from the new year,
Yes.
uh, so that you get maximum. The beauty of the Eastern wisdom is that you listen
Gathering
and
100%.
you are listening and learning, listening and learning. In the beginning, the mind says, okay, you continue listening and learning. Then that information goes to the intellect. And then you find a difficult situation outside, and suddenly your mind applies that knowledge, and you find it works, and you continue listening. So when you have applied the knowledge, you get out of the fear and the insecurity or unhappiness. For example, your honey reacts, you also react. You prove that you are right, honey says, I'm right. So that is the normal tendency of the human being who has never been introduced to the Eastern wisdom. But gradually you are listening and learning, and the time comes, suddenly that spark of the knowledge enters into your mind. You say it's better not to respond. Keep quiet. Why? Honey is angry. Why should I also become angry? Why should I waste my energy? Once you get that feel, you will find that you remain calm. And your honey gets a surprise because your honey is not learning Eastern wisdom. I'm not talking of Sophie and John here because they both are attending my session. So the first time your mind realizes it is a great power to remain calm than to react. Are you getting it? And then only we realize the calmness and the peace is a greater power than anger, than reaction, than any kind of rationalization. We will never realize it unless we apply it. Are you getting it? Say yes. Even if you don't get it, say, yes, I'm getting it. So at least your mind will remind you, okay, I have to apply, I didn't apply. Next time I will apply. So that is what our entire Eastern wisdom, I told you that it is all about three major steps. I don't know, let me know it. So, how you know it? By listening and learning. But it takes time for us to contemplate and reflect on these principles. I told you desire is anger, greed, desire is delusion, desire is hesitation, desire is stress, and desire is suffering. So now you have already understood it intellectually, but at the time of applying, now, for example, anyone becomes agitated and reactive to you. Now you realize it is because of the desire, it is because of his or her expectations from you. And then you calm down. Okay, let me understand. Let me understand. So you don't react. So that is what the realization is. That is the second step. What we say, you have contemplated, you have reflected, and your mind now is not affected by any situation. Did you get it? Otherwise, you wake up in the morning, light is not there. That is one situation, you get upset. It's very cold, it's very cold. Why you are living in a cold weather? It's very cold. It's very hot. It's a situation outside you cannot change. Why don't you accept it? So in the afternoon, then you say it's very hot. Situation outside away. We are so weak that every situation intimidates us, affects us. What kind of life we are living? That no situation is conducive to us. So every situation, every condition, every person, every time, we are affected from outside. What is outside? The world. And that world causes the problems and the suffering. And because it causes the problem and the suffering, because the mind is impulsive, mind is habitual, mind is full of the desires. Are you getting it? Are you clear? So, Eastern wisdom guides us not to be affected, not to be dictated, not to be carried away by any situation in the world. We have the capacity, we have the ability. We can live at a higher level of awareness. But we don't want to live because of lack of awareness. So that is why I say Eastern wisdom is a self-awareness program. Self-awareness. Self is calm, whatever the situation is outside in the world. That world includes my family, my members of my family, my professional activities, my social activities, anytime, anywhere. Situation is not going to affect me. Situational issues. Situational issues, if affects us, we are the weakest person, weak link. You may claim that you are highly knowledgeable, you are highly intelligent. Oh, that's why I gave an example. Look at the Bill Gates. He said, I lived loveless life for 27 years. Situational. We have the ability. So Eastern wisdom says that is why it is an emotional program. Second aspect, emotional dependence. Emotional dependence causes anxiety, duality, conflict, reaction, anger, agitation, frustration, sleep disturbances. It's a long list. Emotional dependence. What is it means? I'm attached to someone or I'm detached to someone. I like someone, I dislike someone. So when I like someone, it gives me happiness. When I dislike someone, it gives me unhappiness. Now see how mind cheats us, how the mind deceives, cheats. I like someone, I want that person to be near me, that gives me happiness. But if I like someone who is too far, it gives me unhappiness. And now apply the same logic to the dislike. I dislike someone who should be too far from me, that gives me happiness. And if I dislike someone who is near me, it gives me unhappiness. Now analyze your own mind. Don't start analyzing others. I was giving private lessons to one young guy, and after 3 months, he said, I am observing my parents. I said, observe yourself. Why you are observing your parents? Did I tell you to observe your parents? So you see how this mind cheats us. We are here to evolve us. We are here to awaken to the permanent peace and happiness in us. So, how modern age, or you see the modern people explain this problem, like the young man who started observing others. This is known as judgmental. You see that? We say you are judgmental. You become judgmental, you may be highly intelligent, it is not going to help. If it helps you, tell me. So I have to observe myself, that how my mind moves with the likes and dislikes, attachment and detachment. Absence of a person gives me happiness, presence of a person gives me happiness. It is the same mind. Take mind to the task. How dare you, mind, change your position? Are you getting it? In India, we normally, it's a joke, but it also, sometimes it is also a fact. So in India, we say that, the husband loves neighbor's wife more than his own wife. So that, I'm more concerned about others. So how this proverb has come, don't you see the neighbor's wife, how she looks? She has a better sense than yours. We complain to our wife. So then there is another problem in the mind. That is too far, we feel it is good. That is too near, we don't feel good. It is not because the person is good and bad. It is because my crazy mind. That needs to be understood. So once we understand that part, we are 100% clear that it is my mind which needs an emotional freedom. I need a self-awareness program. I'll continue to repeat this briefly from the next year so that you will pick up. You will understand that how the process, method, and the journey of the Eastern wisdom goes. Adding some more points. Go on asking the question. If you do not ask the question, the first part is I do not know, let me know it. So you are continuously listening and learning. But continuous listening and learning will help you one day to contemplate and reflect and apply that knowledge in a real life situation. When you apply that knowledge in a real life situation, you find a moment, the spark of the knowledge raises your level of awareness, and that knowledge gives you a sense of emotional freedom. Why I'm fighting? Whether it's fighting, why should I fight? Why should I react? Should I tell you one more thing? What is emotion? We always have a problem with the near and dear ones. What problem you have with me? Maximum you will stop attending my session. You'll forget. But you always have a problem with the near and dear ones. Say yes. And that is emotional dependence. That is emotional dependence. John is waiting to say yes, it's okay. Do you see? Just understand that nature of the mind. We want to live with the near and dear ones. We have a problem with the near and dear ones, and we have 1 million complaint against the near and dear ones. You will forget me, maximum. This weird guy, what he's talking, leave. You're leaving. Sophie's friend left, She joined a couple of programs. So this is one thing this is what it is. Means that the mental transformation program. Besides the emotional freedom, the third, you can say the third method is that how we can change the mind. How we can transform the mind. And a simple phrase that I've been using, I have to understand whether the mind is working on me or I am working on the mind. When the mind is working on me, I'm definitely influenced by the outer situation, the world, people, place, time. Situation in the morning, I'm upset. In the afternoon, I'm very good. I feel very good. In the evening, again, I get crazy. There was a woman in New Jersey. She said, what she said. Yeah, there was a cloudy weather. Now I recognize. You remember, because cloudy weather was there, and she was just at the point of attending my session. What do you feel about this weather? This, when there's a cloudy weather, it irritates me. I cannot attend your session. Situation. 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 So that is the third point, is the mental transformation program. So the fact is that you follow the self-awareness program, emotional freedom program, mental transformation program, you apply that knowledge. 80% of the challenges that you are facing in terms of anxiety, reaction, anger, stress, sleep disturbances will dissolve. Why? Situational problem in the world, you are not affected. It is if you get the effect by the mind. So there is a mental transformation program. Why? You recognize it is because of the attachment I'm going to be anxious, so you drop it. So what happens? You sleep well, you rest well, you relax well. It is not effective. Because of the attachment, you keep on thinking about reacting against someone. That's why you get frustrated. That's why you have a feeling of fear. That we will take up gradually. So, having understood this basis, two things more, that every human being, when we are a human being, we cannot live without any effort. We have to make an effort. And we cannot live without being curious, without knowing. Every person has an innate aspiration to know. Every person, being a human being. That ability to know, that natural inspiration or natural desire to know, to be curious, should be directed to answer the question, who am I and what is the nature of this world? That becomes Eastern wisdom. To know. And once I know that this is the process and the method to know who am I have to put an effort. So the moment you put an effort to know yourself, we come to know what is the real self. And the Eastern wisdom says this: the real self is of the nature of peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. Now imagine for a while, you have realized who am I. You are talking to your honey. You maintain that awareness that you are peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. Your honey says you something. Will there be a reaction? Peace does not react, happiness does not react, wisdom does not react. You don't fall into ignorance. Ignorance is error in perception, misunderstanding. And then your mind, your intellect will give you the best solution possible. How it will give you? Because now you are on the verge of revelation of the knowledge through your intuition, through your inspiration in the body. Because the mind is now hanging on all the time with the real self. And the real self is peace. So your mind will say, let me find the solution through peace and happiness and the joy with self-awareness, with emotional freedom. Not only that, the same mind in connection with the real self will start searching what is the best solution in these circumstances. And the best solution is always in peace and happiness. Best solution cannot be in anger, hesitation, reaction. So you recognize that you need not to control your anger and reaction. It is naturally controlled. You have changed your mind. That is the way Eastern wisdom works. Think of it, contemplate. Can you be angry if the peace is working behind the mind, if the joy is working behind the mind, why the happiness is working behind? You have no expectation, you have no desire from anyone in the world for peace. You are expressing in peace, you are thinking in peace, you are acting in peace, you are speaking in peace. This mind will, you will recognize this mind has no why it will wander. There is no question of wandering. Mind is wandering only because it is constantly seeking peace and happiness outside because of emotional dependence, because of lack of self-awareness. And the two efforts we can definitely make. We can receive the knowledge. Okay, you receive the knowledge. You have heard me many a times. But if you do not retain the knowledge, what it means, the impurity of the mind, emotional dependence. That's why that emotional dependence, because of intense attachment or detachment, or because of aversion, because of extreme attachment or detachment with a person, that knowledge is veiled. And that is why we are not able to live in the world, not to be affected by the world outside. Last thing is important, something is coming. As a teacher of the Eastern wisdom, we realize that you are real self. What you already have, the teacher is pointing you out. We are just a catalyst. We help you to point out where is the peace, and peace is in you. Peace is your essential nature. Where is the happiness? Happiness is in you. Let me trigger your mind. There was a great master who died in 1987. He was working in the convenience store, like in India. So one of his friend in the late evening was going to listen to another master. So his friend told me that, why don't you join me and let us meet, let us listen to this master. So they both went, they sat down. The masters spoke the same thing. They have a different expression, but they spoke the same thing. The real self is full of peace and happiness. You are peace and happiness. That was the topic. While returning, his mind was so much intensively started contemplating and reflecting. Does this master has any selfish interest? No. Why should he has a selfish interest? Because he told openly that I am peace and happiness. He did not tell me that I will help you to give you the peace and happiness. His name is Nisargadatta Maharaj. To 100% illiterate. He was working in a convenience store. For 6 months, his mind returned again and again that when I am peace, how dare my mind become angry? For 6 months, he followed only this statement in his mind through contemplation and reflection. Within 6 months, he reached to the final stage. He realized the real self. He became one of the great masters. He continued working on the convenience store. His name is Nisargadatta Maharaj. Later on, many people, even some Americans, went to him and they became his disciples and they wrote a book on him. So he always said that this master I met for the first time, I heard him. He said, real self is your real nature. It is peace and happiness. Then why should I not believe him? Because he does not have any selfish interest. Do you think that? Did you understand? He already told me the greatest message in my first listening to him. First time I'm listening to him. Now forget the master, what he told about the real self. But remember this person, this Maharaj, how deeply that word influenced his mind, and he reached to the final stage. He did not know any English. He was totally illiterate. So many Americans, many French people went to him and wrote a book about him. So there used to be a person to translate. What it shows. You can become a qualified seeker just in one lesson. Or it will take some time. So those are the highest seekers. Rare people. So Eastern wisdom also answered that how that person, Nisargadatta Maharaj or Buddha, as a human being, became such a great master. Jesus, were just a, you already know. So that depends on other factors also, past birth, previous impression, and will, commitment, readiness to work on a single principle. That is the power of the Eastern wisdom. Think of this, listen to it again and again and see, can I not become, normally people say, oh, he was Buddha, but I am not. Finished. You're not interested to be in peace and happiness. If he was a human being, he became Buddha, why I can't be? What he did, he became Buddha. What should I do to become Buddha? Buddha normally literally means awakened. Sanskrit word. Here in America, we say Buddha. Buddha means old, like me. But Buddha, the word is pronounced as Buddha, means awakened. Let us be awakened today. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed and adopt a right position of the body so that you do not feel unease in the body. Right? The body is the servant of the mind. And if you feel uneasy, the mind is in the body, it will not go inside. To adjust, align, find out the best position that you can have with eyes are closed. Eyes are closed gently. Do not squeeze your eyes, my friends. And then look at the entire body. Check the position. You are aware. If the mind is jumping, let it jump, but the body should not jump. How it can be achieved? By awareness. Did I tell you it's self-awareness program? But the mind contains trillions of impressions of emotional bondage. It is impulsive. And so why we say impulsive? Because unconscious operation. We do not know when we are going to be angry and agitated and anxious. They are unwanted guests. That is the nature of the impulse. So how we take over that impulses, we say, look at the head and the neck. Look at the neck joint. Be there, feel sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So you see that you are looking the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. So that impulsive nature of the mind pacifies. Be 100% clear. I always give you a different explanations. Why? Because someday one explanation hits your mind and you say, I got it. Look at the shoulder joints, be there, feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. The mind moves on the hip joint. Be there means you are aware, you feel, you experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Look at the entire body from the top of the head to the toes and feel and experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Now we have the body is settled in the comfort zone. So now we can look inside easily at a subtler level. The thoughts are unwelcome thoughts are coming. Uninvited thoughts are interfering. Let it come. Why it is coming? It is only coming because we are seeking peace and happiness outside. There is no other reason. With that knowledge, you are looking at the thought and you say, no, first I will examine. How you can examine? Scientific research is known as unbiased emotion. The mind is not carried away by the emotions. So that is the reason we say be carefree means unwanted, unwelcome thoughts are coming. Let it come, let it go. You're just aware, and I gave many examples that you are aware of. The traffic on the road, you are standing across and you're watching the traffic. The birds are flying in the sky, they are like the thoughts. But you are aware of the space. Same way, you are aware of the mind that is witnessing all these entry and exit of these thoughts, like the traffic on the road, like the birds flying in the sky. Means you have separated yourself from all the thoughts that are coming. Can you control the thought? No one. Can you suppress it? More you suppress, it blasts off. You can control today, but tomorrow it will blast. Third point, here only. So, what should we do? We should replace the thought. How? By dropping the idea of selfishness. What is selfishness? Emotional dependence. So we use the mantra to drop that selfish. How we drop selfishness? Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Better you say in your mind. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Other thoughts are continuing. You don't pay attention. You pay attention to the mantra. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. So we pay attention to the mantra in three steps. The first, we chant, we recite so that it triggers the brain. Second, we know the meaning. The meaning of this mantra, let everyone be happy. But we don't stop there. Are we seeking happiness for all? We are asking the mind to, yes, you seek happiness for all, but why? Because happiness is the essential nature of every human being, every living being. From the fly to the butterfly to the elephant, they all are seeking happiness. Natural, instinctual. In animals, it is instinctual. In human being, it can become a conscious process. Sarve santu niramaya. Say in your mind, Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve santu niramaya. What it means, let there be a well-being for all. Everyone, every living species is seeking well-being. Why? That is an innate urge of every being. I'm not saying only human being. What is the difference between the human being and the animals? They do it instinctually. We can do it consciously by receiving the knowledge and by acting on the mind. That differentiates between us, human being, and the rest of the living species. We don't use that knowledge and then we continue to suffer throughout our life with the hope that someday the world will offer me peace and happiness. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Let everyone be blessed. Blessing and the grace should fall upon each and every being on this earth. Who is saying? Your mind. Constantly, your mind that was engaged in attachment, seeking peace and happiness, now the same mind is replacing the thought process. Mantra is also a thought. That let there be a blessing for all. It is going to help me when I say this. Because then I don't seek a sense of attachment and detachment from the world outside. Ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavid. Ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavid. Ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavid. You should extract this mantra from this recording today and from the next year. Every time your mind works on these four aspects of the mantra. So let none suffer from misery in this world. Let everyone be free from all kinds of suffering. We are pointing to the real self. We are breaking the chain of emotional freedom. When we say that let no one suffer, suffering is main cause is emotional bondage. We can understand as a human being, no living being can really understand that. Because they don't have a free intellect to receive the knowledge. You can control them, but you can control them by food bites, your pet animals. So, this is not only one way to purify the mind, but also raise your level of awareness. There is still another way if you feel that the mind is living within. So keep your focus of the mind in the inside the head in the space. So you are keep looking into the space or emptiness or blankness. The mind does not distract from there. At the same time, you start breathing quick and fast from the chest. Any resistance caused by the mind is coming from the emotional bondage and the lack of awareness. Third name, we say impurity of the mind. So don't submit to the resistance of the mind. Keep on. I'm doing it to show you, to demonstrate what kind of a noise you feel of the breath when you do it with the chest breathing. And stop it, do nothing, experience the changes. You recognize the change and you accept the change. Don't allow the mind to start reacting to the changes. That changes may be in the form of tingling, numbness, sensations inside and around the head. You maintain your awareness. In that awareness, you look at the entire body, moving the mind from the top of the head to the toes and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. So now the body is in the state of sensation, relaxation, and stillness. You're not changing the rate and the rhythm of the breath, you're watching the breath. We're engaging the mind to continue to live within so that it leaves the world outside, it goes deeper within. So, first point of awareness, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Second point, you are looking at the breath. You don't change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. Third point of awareness, the moment the breath goes in, the moment breath goes in, you just drop Shantoham as if the breath going in means Shantoham. When the breath comes out, do nothing, just look into the space. Breath goes in Shantoham, breath comes out space, breath goes in Shantoham, comes out space. What we are doing, not only we are purifying the mind, but we are going deeper within. Shantoham, breath goes in, space, breath comes out. Simple. If if we start changing the rate and the rhythm of the breath, it is caused by, again, I'm telling you, the impurity of the mind. But we persist. Do nothing. Remain as you are in the state of doing nothing. Even when you do nothing, that I am remains present, that I am. And that I am is free from the gender, age, sex, age, profession, nationality. That I am is the pure consciousness, is the real self we are searching. Hmm. Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand. Bring your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms. Place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Be there. Ask yourself what happened, what is your experience, good, bad, high, low. We'll be sharing our experience. Bring the hands down. And slowly bring your hands down. We will share our experiences. How are you, Charlie?
Hi, I'm tired and relaxed.
Tired and relaxed. Tired coming from that part of the mind with emotional bondage. Relaxation comes from that mind which is living within us. So when we increase the resources, we continue the practices, the pressure is reduced and reduced and reduced. Tiredness goes away. That is the journey. How clear these masters? I don't speak from anything from my side. It's all about our journey. How are you, John?
Hey, Girish, I'm fine. I guess I'm like Charlie,
You like Charlie?
pretty much like Charlie, yeah.
Yes, I want to add one more thing. When the mind dislikes, maybe we did the breathing for 2 minutes, which is not even the minimum. Minimum range is 3 minutes. Then it goes to 6 minutes. Then it becomes 9 minutes. One of the group, Mondays and Thursdays, they are doing for 3 to 6 minutes. So when the mind dislikes any active step, it resists, and that results into tiredness. But at the same time, we feel also relaxed. So it means if we do more, we will be more relaxed, less tired. So this is what happens. So from the next year, we are going to follow a system, one step meditation steps, and then we go on increasing the duration of each step so that we can progress and we can understand how the progress is made. Very good. So how are you, Sophie?
I am good, Girish, but I don't think I had a very focused meditation. My mind, I think I fell asleep. My head was dropping. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh.
Yeah. I think, do you remember I told many a times, remember, and so that it helps you. When the mind goes within, first option is that the mind rises up. It means there is a rise in awareness. You experience relaxation, calmness, peace, joy, a sense of bodilessness. When the mind drops down, it falls into unconscious sleep.
Yeah.
And when the mind continues to move in the same direction, so it maintains the status quo, it recognizes, oh, there is a fatigueness and tiredness also. And there is this, it is going also within, so it finds relaxation also.
I have a question. Do you, if you eat before meditation, are you gonna be more? I mean, what are the effects of eating?
Minimum 2 hours before any heavy meal. We should not. We should not eat any heavy meal 2 hours before the meditation, or maximum 1 hour before the meditation. Because the energy is directed to digesting the food and the mind is engaged more there at the unconscious level. That may be one reason for falling into sleep.
Yeah.
So just after the meditation, you can eat anything.
Yeah. Great. Thank you.
Good. So we will go to Mead. How are you, Mead?
Oh, that for me was very, very deep
Very deep. Good.
and very calming.
Very calming.
Yeah.
Good. Remain calm until the next session.
I want to. Oh,
So how are you, Anne?
wow.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm peaceful. My mind is blank. It's blank. So
Very good.
that feels good.
Yeah, yeah. So when the mind does not have any resistance, it means, what is the resistance? Resistance means that it is seeking something outside in the world, but that mind has stopped seeking what it can find inside, only emptiness, blank. But now if it is constantly seeking something outside and I want to push it inside, there is a resistance, there is a reaction. That reaction may be in the form of falling into unconscious sleep, or maybe in the form of tiredness and relaxation at the same time. So these terms we need to understand. They come from the Eastern wisdom. You cannot compare with the modern science with physiology and biochemistry. We can complement that. So happy New Year to you all. I have every day Happy New Year. So I'm just saying Happy New Year. Still 2 days are left. So we'll meet again on the new year. We will start with a almost new text. Thank you very much.
Thank you.